So, Vidya Dadati Vinayam. When a tree is laden with fruits, what happens to that tree? Bends down, becomes humble. Yeah. Vidya Dadati Vinayam. Vidya should lead us to humility. My skin also can get confused. If I put my finger for a minute or so in little hot water, how much I can tolerate, and then I pick my finger and put it in water that is room temperature, that room temperature water will seem cold. If you are conducting an experiment and the instrument you are using to conduct that experiment is faulty, will the result of that experiment be?
You won't get the right result.
You won't get right results. Now, we are acquiring knowledge through the instruments called senses, but the senses are faulty. Instruments are faulty. Will we get right knowledge? It's also called Brahma. The earlier one is Pramada. Mada means illusion or madness. Pramada means Prakrishta Rupena Mada. Pra means it enhances everything. Prakrishta Rupena. That means completely mad, completely illusion. Three types of acquiring knowledge, or three ways of acquiring knowledge. Right. Already some of you have told. The first way is called Pratyaksha Pramana.
Pratyaksha Pramana.
Okay, Pratyaksha. Aksha means eyes. This means seeing is believing. What is there in front of my eyes, I will believe that much. That's all. Like that. Okay, that is Pratyaksha Pramana. Or any of the senses. Eyes are considered as a leader of the senses. How many senses are there, by the way?
Five
senses are there. Okay. What are those senses?
Eyes, nose, tongue.
Eyes, nose, tongue,
ears,
ears and hand.
hand.
Eyes, nose, tongue, ears, and skin. Okay, skin all over the body, not just here. So these are the five senses. Now all these five senses help you acquire knowledge. Eyes through your vision, ears through sound. Even like if you are taking a food item and putting it on your tongue, that is sweet or spicy or salty. That is also knowledge. Isn't it? That's also knowledge, right? Yes or no?
Yes,
Something is
to know the taste of the
right.
food.
So Pratyaksha Pramana is knowledge received through any of the senses. Some, like you walk into a room and then it's very cold. That is also knowledge. Okay, that's also knowledge. We use temperature, thermometer to measure temperature. That's also knowledge. The skin tells you, different things. So any information that you gather through any of the senses is Pratyaksha Pramana. Not only eyes, though it is saying Pratyaksha, Aksha means eyes, but because it is Aksha, eyes are the leader among the senses, so it's called Pratyaksha. Now next is Anumana Pramana.
Anumana Pramana.
Okay, Anumana Pramana. Anumana means like those who speak Hindi. Can you tell me the meaning of the word Anuman?
Guess.
Assumption. Assumption.
Who said guess? Who said guess? Yeah, right. So it means guess. Like we will tell, no, like when you're speaking in Hindi, hey, Anuman laga ke batna kitna hoga? Batana kitna hoga?
That's
Anuman
what assumption.
So like that. Guesswork, experimentation, maybe like this, maybe like that. Hypothesis. Okay.
So
it
spelling,
could
bro?
be like
HY?
Okay, I'll type.
So I think
okay, so Pratyaksha Pramana is knowledge received through direct sense perception. Okay, that is Pratyaksha Pramana, direct sense perception. Experimentation and hypothesis.
Prabhuji, what's the difference between first and second one then?
hypothesis is
You study it.
you come to a conclusion based on pratyaksha pramana, but you're stretching pratyaksha into doing, like, say for example, you are observing the sun is rising in the east every day.
Yep.
Okay, now you conduct, say you observe that for 365 days. Okay, this is an experiment. Okay, so you are conducting an experiment for 365 days. 1 year, I will see whether the sun someday it rises in the north.
South.
But it is not. So you
Never.
come to a conclusion, that is hypothesis. You are hypothesizing that the sun always rises in the east. Now, later, Sudarshan comes and then he says, no, 365 days is very less. I am going to do it for 3,650 days. I am extending the hypothesis, extending the experimentation. My sample size I am increasing. Now, 10 years he observes every day. And then he says, no. Now, I actually can conclude that
the sun rises in east.
Sun rises in the east. Now,
he learned LKG.
Bhavishya comes and then she says,
Bhavishya, I am going to see.
3,650 also is not sufficient. I want to observe for 36,500 days.
Okay.
Prabhu,
but you will be there till then.
Wait. That means I want to observe for 100 years.
100 years.
Now, is that possible? Is that possible?
No.
So, listen, Baba. Quick, don't do, wait. So, listen. So, it is not possible. Now, is your experimentation complete?
No.
So, is your hypothesis absolute?
Yes.
No.
So, is your hypothesis absolute?
No.
No.
Right? So, this is a problem with Anumana Pramana. Anyway, we will come to problems later. But the thing is,
because whatever you see from your senses may not be right, you do Anumana Pramana, right?
Right. So may not be right. You want to conclude through experimentation and hypothesis. So what happens?
Continuously do.
When I'm talking, don't talk. Wait. So what will you do in science? You do experimentation, you do observation, and then you conclude, called inference. That is hypothesis. So you experiment, you observe, and you infer. Now Lakshmi will be, I thought I left all these in school. Why Adidev Prabhu is... Yes, Lakshmi?
She chose humanities.
Okay, anyway, this is Anumana Pramana. Then finally, there is Shabda Pramana.
Hearing.
Where you receive knowledge from an authority. From an authority who's an expert in that subject.
Guru.
Guru, teacher, mentor, whatever you called. You can call whatever they are called. But see, when you do something again and again, it becomes irritating. Don't do that. Okay. So Shabda Pramana is basically receiving knowledge from an authority. Okay, that is Shabda Pramana. Now we are going to take a look at the issues with each of these. Not each of these, what is the most authoritative way of acquiring knowledge, we will see. Okay. So
Prabhu, can you repeat for Shabda Pramana? You said the definition.
I am typing again. So direct sense perception, experimentation and hypothesis, and receiving.
Prabhu, is it necessary that Shabda Pramana should be verbal or it can be anyway?
It can be anyway. Knowledge from an authority. Okay. Knowledge from an authority. in that subject. Okay, so Pratyaksha Pramana is knowledge acquired through direct sense perception. Now, yeah, Aitihya Pramana is also there. We are not going to get into sub Pramanas. We are going to look at only the
Prabhuji, can you show the last slide?
the top, the main ways of acquiring knowledge. Okay.
Yeah, Prabhu.
So generally we consider, don't have to take notes of all these things. Understand, generally we consider seeing is believing, right? But then let's understand. I want you to tell me a few examples of things we believe in but do not see.
Air, oxygen,
Prime Minister of India.
Microwaves.
Coronavirus.
Okay, give me examples of things we believe in, do not believe in but see.
पता नहीं. Mirage.
Illusion.
Huh?
mirage,
Mirage.
Movie.
Mirage, very good. We see mirages, but we know the water in the
I mean,
desert,
we
especially.
believe in them, but then we don't believe in them. So
We do not believe in them because we know it doesn't exist, but we see. Right?
we
Mirage
don't know whether
doesn't
it's a
have,
mirage or not.
because when you go there, when you reach there, you don't find the water.
Correct.
Right. So then it didn't exist, but you saw. Like a rainbow. You're seeing a rainbow. Can you ever reach a rainbow? Because rainbow is just the refraction of light through suspended water particles after a rain. Right? After rain, there are still water particles which are suspended in the air. They're still there, floating in the air. So when the sun is behind those water droplets, the white light from the sun gets refracted. So the water droplets act as a prism. And then the 7 lights, wavelengths, they...
Prabhu, one thing doesn't fit in my head is that we are not believing something we don't see. Sometimes we are believing what we don't see also. What is this nonsense?
Sometimes we are believing what we don't see.
No, like we are doing both half.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, we are just trying to analyze. It's not necessary that whatever we see, we have to believe. That's the point. Seeing is believing, people say. Right? Not necessary. That's what we are trying to arrive at. So all of these are things we believe in, but we don't see. So it's not that seeing and believing are correlated always. Okay, some things are there that we see, we don't believe in. There are things that we believe in, but we don't see. So mirage is there. Railway tracks converging. We see they are converging, but then, if you keep running, the tracks never converge. Like that. I spoke about the rainbow, like that.
What do you
see? The horizon. Yeah. What is this?
Girl.
Girl's face around birds.
But then, when you go closer, you see something else. So our eyes can actually deceive us, like how you see a bent pencil. Will any idiot manufacture a bent pencil?
no.
Why will somebody manufacture a bent pencil? Right? So like that. But then you put it in water, you see that it is bent. Right? So the question is that seeing is not believing. Whatever you see may not be factual. The reason is because there are 4 defects of a human being. There are 4 defects in a human being. The first one is called, we have imperfect senses. You don't have to remember the Sanskrit words. I'm just telling. Karana, Patava. Karana means senses. Patava means they're getting misled. Okay. So imperfect senses. We all have imperfect senses. Like eyes, I told you, can deceive us. Ears can also deceive us. Okay. We'll probably hear the whistle sound of, say, a milk cooker. And then we'll think that, oh, it's the sound of a train. Like that. It could be like that. Huh? Sometimes somebody may call from here, I will look in the opposite direction. Like that. So I can't perceive sound also properly. Taste also. If I eat a very, very sweet, okay, and then after that I eat a mild sweet, this sweet will be less sweet.
It will seem sour.
So it'll be like that. My skin also can get confused. If I put my finger for a minute or so in little hot water, how much I can tolerate, and then I pick my finger and put it in water that is room temperature, that room temperature water will seem cold.
Yeah.
The same thing, if I put my finger in cold water for 1 minute, and then I take it and put it in water which is room
It'll seem
temperature,
hot.
seem warm. So my skin is also not giving me exact information. Nose also. If you go to a perfume shop, after every 2-3 perfumes you smell, they'll give you samples to smell. Okay. After every 2-3 perfumes, he'll give you something pungent, like say coffee beans or something to smell. That will break your, fragrances. Why? Because after 1, 2, 3 fragrances, the fourth fragrance you'll not be able to smell properly only. Your nose will get confused. Right? So our
Prabhuji,
nose
even
also is important.
Prabhuji,
So
even in a
all-
textbook, it is in that. The same thing.
So all our
But
senses
like
are imperfect.
sometimes
All our senses are imperfect. Now my question to you is this. If you are conducting an experiment and the instrument you are using to conduct that experiment is faulty, will the result of that
Wrong
experiment
results.
You won't get the right result.
you won't get right results? Now we are acquiring knowledge through the instruments called senses, but the senses are faulty. Instruments are faulty. Will we get right knowledge?
No.
No.
So depending on our senses alone for knowledge, acquiring knowledge is a problem. Okay. So first is imperfect senses. Then what happens after that? Like, some more examples. Our eyes are blind outside the range of 4,000 to 7,000 angstrom. You cannot see, but there are so many wavelengths. 4,000 to 7,000 is Vibgyor. But beyond red, ultra, infrared is there. That is the gamma radiations. So many things are there. Beyond violet, there are so many ultraviolet radiations, all those radiations. So in the electromagnetic spectrum, the visible spectrum, which is Vibgyor, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, it's a very small slice of the entire electromagnetic spectrum. If you don't understand physics, don't bother. I'm just telling, we are not seeing reality as it is.
Prabhu, Ved and
Reality,
bother
what
now
we
or in
see.
the exam.
So our eyes are blind outside the range of 4,000 to 7,000 angstrom. Our ears are deaf outside the range of 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. This is a hearing range. Beyond that, ultrasonic sound is there, infrasonic sound is there. We don't hear. Bats hear, dogs hear. Bats and dogs are better than us. Their ears are better than us. Ours. So we're not hearing everything. Right? So, Karana Pata.
Prabhuji, but their mind is less than us.
That's okay. In that sphere, they are better than us.
Yes.
Now you may be more intelligent than a boxer, but will you go and fight with a boxer?
Never.
He'll decimate you. So we should understand there he is better. Not like that. I don't challenge him there. Okay. 4 defects. Karana Patava. Because our senses are imperfect, we have a tendency to become illusioned. Right? Because false information. I go into a dark room and then there is a rope and then I think it is a snake and like that, snake, I am screaming. Okay, I am getting illusioned. Now, if you think a rope is a snake, that is okay. But
You think snake is a rope? Bigger problem.
if you think a snake is a rope, that's a big problem. So all of you were right.
That's correct.
But they
Very
move
good.
apart and the walls are not parallel and
Yeah.
it's a slope.
Yeah. So all of them are there. Huh? So
I get-
basically, you see how our senses can get completely illusion. What we see is not what reality is, right? So that it's not that always it's like that, but the tendency is there. So we cannot be sure when it is giving proper information, when it is not giving proper information. Okay.
That itself
Now,
means it's defective.
effective. Yeah. So next is, so we commit mistakes because of, this tendency to commit, get illusion. So here you watch this, how sometimes, paradigm shifts can happen and we realize, oh, what a stupid mistake I have committed.
Bro.
Sometimes our mistakes can be really embarrassing, Yeah.
Prabhu, one question. Why have you put Titanic's photo here? Because is it because of this chain? They got
wanted-
illusioned. And
Because,
I know
it
my
was a
name.
mistake by the captain, the owner of Titanic. He wanted to actually,
Kill
very
the-
big mistake. He wanted to increase the speed of the ship so
Yeah.
that they could reach ahead of time and surprise everybody. Okay, so that's what the owner of the ship wanted. He pushed the captain to sail faster. And because of the speed, they were not able to take the turn. No, because see, when you're traveling very fast, your radius of turning becomes larger, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. When the ship is moving, it's not only about the ship. Even when you are driving a car or riding a motorbike or whatever. So when you are traveling faster, the arc that you'll have to take the radius becomes bigger, right? So because they were traveling very fast, even though they spotted the iceberg, but before they could take the turn, they went and hit, right? But if they had been slower, they could have taken the turn easier. Little only actually hit the iceberg, but because it hit the engine chambers, because of the way the iceberg was shaped. Icebergs are all odd shaped, they don't have very uniform shapes. So because of the way the iceberg was shaped and it hit the engine chambers, that's why the ship sank. Okay.
But actually,
Now,
it's not at all a Titanic.
Hmm?
The ship is not at all a Titanic, bro.
Yeah, they actually propagated this by saying, they advertised by saying the ship that even God can't sink.
Oh, gee,
That's
what?
the advertisement.
That's why
Actually,
it sank.
it was in other.
Yeah. And then God was like, oh, really?
Oh, let me show you that I'm powerful.
Even the first voyage, it didn't complete. Very sad. Okay. So next is cheating propensity. Now, again, watch this video. It's real.
Prabhu, I don't want to study biology after this.
Yes, bro.
Haeckel actually was given I think he was given the Nobel Prize, but then it was taken back after they found out that he had actually cheated. So we always say, oh, scientific community, absolutely truth, that is what they present, experimentation, observation, inference, we are reading facts and all that. Look at this.
No, but it was not understandable.
So, these tendencies are there, basically. So, Pratyaksha Pramana, it may not be true due to the imperfections of our senses. Okay, so it is a little difficult to trust everything what we acquire through our senses. All right. So, direct perception can cheat us. That possibility is there. So Anumana Pramana involves theorizing based on information directly perceived by the senses. Okay. So based on that, you create theories. Now the problem is already we have seen that information acquired through our senses could be, may not be true, right? So knowledge already acquired by us through experience and applying reason and logic to the above two. You know this story?
Yes, I know that.
Yes, bro.
Blind people.
What is this?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay,
They all
Harmonix, tell
touch.
me.
Bro.
Don't know, Prabhu.
You forgot to explain,
Can I
bro.
tell?
Seriously, bro.
6 blind men, they have never seen an elephant. Obviously, they were born blind. So, but everyday objects they know because they have touched, somebody has told what the objects are. So they are touching different parts of the elephant and then they are thinking, oh, the elephant is actually this, like that. So the first blind man, he is touching the tusk of the elephant. What do you think he is thinking the elephant is?
A wooden block or something.
Ivory spear.
Trees branch.
This
He's saying, elephant is a spear. Elephant is a spear, like that. And the second man is touching the trunk of the elephant. What is he saying?
Bro, elephant is like coconut tree.
Correct. It's like coconut tree.
Live example of illusion, Prabhu.
It's like some python or snake or something. I don't know when a blind man went and touched a snake. And then
But
somebody
the
told
tail
him,
should be
"No,
more
what
like a
is a
snake, right,
snake?"
Prabhu?
I mean, if they've touched a snake, why won't they have touched an elephant?
First time they're touching an elephant.
Then how has he touched a snake before?
The story, don't apply logic to the story. You should ask the author. Okay.
That's what
So,
you are telling us the story.
the third man is touching the
Yes.
ears of the elephant. And then he's thinking the elephant is like a
Flat.
fan, hand fan, something like that. Okay,
Camera.
then the fourth man is touching the legs of the elephant.
Pillar.
Pillar.
Like a pillar.
Pillar or now coconut tree. Where is the coconut tree boy? Okay. Then the fifth man is touching the body of the elephant.
Wall.
The elephant is flat.
Wall, something big. And then finally the sixth man is touching the
Tail.
tail of the elephant. What is it?
Rope.
Another
It's
snake.
like rope or something like that. So one Englishman actually wrote a nice poem about this. It's called The Blind Man and the Elephant. Englishman by name John Godfrey Sachs.
Everyone gets
wrote,
fried.
and so these men of Hindustan disputed loud and long, each in his own opinion, exceeding stiff and strong, though each was partly in the right and all were in the wrong.
What a poem, right?
What
0
a
point
poem.
understood, bro.
So Anumana Pramana has this problem because it heavily relies on sense perception, our limited experience or understanding of the world around us. Okay, like you see, scientists also made errors, like how the theory of the atom actually evolved over a period of time. In 1803, okay, John Dalton, he discovered the atoms and he said atoms are basically tiny, hard spheres that had no empty space. So he said atom was a solid, tiny sphere.
No.
Now, can you tell me what is our understanding of the atom now?
Bro, it is totally hollow. If it gets stringed, we will be like a size of an ant.
99.9% of the atom is space.
Yes.
It's completely hollow, right? But what did John Dalton say just 200 years ago? What did he say?
Prove that he's an
Entire
idiot.
opposite.
No
It was
empty
a
space.
hard sphere.
Completely full.
No, he said he's an
Completely
idiot.
solid. Hey, okay. Whatever he knew at that time, he told. Then in 1897, 1 century later, almost a century, a physicist called Thomson, he said atoms are positive spheres with negative electrons embedded within. Like you see there how it is. Like
Electrons revolve.
atom
Prabhu.
got chicken pox, like that.
Bro, can you explain it once more? I can't
So,
understand.
Thomson told like that. No, it's solid, but then electrons are embedded like that. You can see those small dots.
White color.
Watermelon. Who is that?
Prabhu, really, it's there in
Bro,
our
it's there in the textbook, bro.
watermelon.
Then in 1911, just a decade after, Ernest Rutherford, he said atoms are mostly empty space with a nucleus in the center.
Where did the electrons go, bro?
Electrons are there only. In orbits, electrons are going around the nucleus. Like
He didn't
that.
say that.
He didn't say that, but he asked me where the electrons are. I told what the reality is. But we
This is
knew
accepted.
so many years ago, Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham. The Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma is saying there is Paramanu, there are subatomic particles, but John Dalton didn't refer to Brahma Samhita, nor did he ask Brahma. That is his Brahma.
Prabhu, and the thing is,
Brahma,
even
not
Bohr is
Brahma.
wrong.
Huh?
What?
Prabhu, the thing is, even Bohr is wrong, right? In 11th even Bohr is wrong.
Partially.
And
Fun
the thing is, we
fact,
study all these failure, like all the fail models also we're studying for no reason.
Yes,
that is
Prabhu.
what Lakshmi is telling.
That does not make sense.
This is how people make mistakes. Even scientists like that, they tell.
Prabhu,
And then
they're
they
like
tell, believe in science.
building history on science again. History का कोई escape नहीं है.
Atoms are mostly empty space with electrons moving in a fixed orbit. Now we know there are so many subatomic particles. There is neutron, neutrino, positron, quark, pirk, this, that. So many are there, right? So
atomic charge only, Prabhu.
No. What are the subatomic particles? So
there is particles inside the
subatomic
subatomic particles. That's the main theory of that.
Yeah. So Anumana Pramana also has problems. It could be incorrect, primarily because it is relying on Pratyaksha Pramana. Okay. So deduction can lead you to incorrect or incomplete solutions. Now, Prabhupada tells both of these processes are called as Aroha Pantha. Please make a note of this. Very important. Aroha Pantha. Okay. Aroha means ascending process. That means you are building knowledge. Aroha in singing, Aroha
Prabhu,
is.
can you send?
No, Aroha is
Padhanisa. This is Aroha. Sanida
Bro, Avarohana.
Avaroha means descending. Aroha means ascending. You see how the note is ascending? Sarigama Padhanisa. Right? This is ascending. Ascending is Pratyaksha and Anumana. Sanida Pama.
Can you tell the word?
Avaroha.
Bro, before that,
process.
What is proper?
Aroha Pantha.
Okay.
Avaroha Pantha.